Now, yesterday I tried this, and the voice didn't show up, so we're hoping this will be a little more successful. That's my campfire, and it's very controversial, but it works. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see this or not, but the pail that I'm using is the size you can cook a lobster in, about 12 inches high, about a foot high and about a foot across. And it's got a number 10 can in there, a gallon can that will burn 4 rolls of toilet paper. All right, I know. Inside that, I needed some extra warmth this morning because it got down to like 38 degrees, and it's your fault. But inside the bigger can is a smaller can, the size of a coffee. Coffee comes in about this size can, about a quart. Okay. You squeeze together. Let me squeeze together a roll of toilet paper, and you take the core out, and you stick it in that smaller can inside. You probably can see the rounded edge here. Now, the reason I've got aluminum foil around half of the can top is I love the smell of aluminum foil burning, and I use the charcoal that forms underneath for painting my face and scourging the woods for animals and breakfast, and perhaps a cup of coffee, a live cup of coffee. You may have questioned, or you may know. I'm using, see if I can find it. Here we are. Our good friend 91% isopropyl alcohol. Do not drink this. I tried. And if you spit it out, you'll find that you'll have a lot of fire going outside and inside. So you double your enjoyment. Do not drink this. Good for rubbing on bruises and things like on that scale. But it burns great. And it has a really nice flame. It's nice and warm. Why do I need warmth? June 4th, it was 38 degrees last night. And because I had put a little bit of, I think it's called super oxygen, comes in drops, and I put that into a bottle of water, and I had a good cup of it last night. Couldn't sleep. Kept waking up and watching things on Periscope. If you want to, you can take time out and sing Christmas carols to this. If you don't like my talking, sing a Christmas carol. Anything but Silent Night. Okay, go for it. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, perhaps. My choice was to move from my condominium, which is roughly $600 a month, to the campsite here in the campground in Truro, which is incredibly beautiful, but cold. Where the camping is $800 a month. You get none of the facilities that you would get at home unless you want to walk to their facilities. They have the bathroom and the showers and a nice warm shower this morning. Finally, I fell asleep last night. Anyways, with underneath my, oh God, I'm not going to show you the mess. I'll do it fast. That's a sleeping bag, and I think it is good to, I'll show you some of the mess. It's good. Yeah, I got hanging clothes. Do you know what would happen to these clothes if I didn't hang them up? They would look just like this other bed on the other side of the tent. This is a 10-man tent, and I absolutely refused to have 10 men and live with them for the whole summer. So I called the manufacturer, and I told them I would like to have 2 women in the tent and change the label, and I will be a buyer of their tent, which they did. And last summer I had 2 Russian women as roommates. It worked out wonderful. back to the fire. I woke up this morning sweating like crazy, but warm, because I'm in my down comforter, which goes down to 3,420 degrees below zero, which we needed last night, and keeps you very, very warm. You wouldn't have had the same effect because it was warm-ish. No, it wasn't warmish. It was cold in the tent. But I didn't start this fire last night thinking, well, we've gone through 5 days of this now. It's not going to happen again. And there it is. I'm happening again. I am protected from the outside and bears by this very sturdy bear protection and lions. Nobody can get in this tent. It's, as you can hear, very solid plastic. I have an exit there, and if you wanted to imagine, there's another exit behind me rather than swinging the camera around fast. But look at this. All the conveniences of home. And on the other side, a full-size mirror, because who wants to go out looking like a slob at 5 minutes of 8? And have people know you as the Dr. Slob who lives in a tent in Truro, who's showing up for his second cup of coffee. This is the secret of the first cup of coffee. It's called a hot pot. 2 bottles of spring water, and you throw in about a tablespoon of coffee right into the hot pot, and get down to the restrooms, and they have electricity down there. And you let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then you pour it out into your cup, and the grounds, believe it or not, settle to the bottom. And you wait a little while, and there's still a little bit left, but as you can see, it's mostly grounds. If you like, and I'm very trained in this, I'd be glad to tell you fortune by reading the coffee grounds. And there's only a few people in the world can do this. I see that you're coming into lots of money and something to do with fire will come into your life. That was in poor taste. But yes, your rich uncle from Madagascar is coming to visit this afternoon. Or he may not be from Madagascar, but he's coming to visit anyways, and you were so excited. You haven't seen him since he had the operation. He used to be your rich aunt from Madagascar. I made that up. Back to the farm. There's a lot of controversy about burning 91% alcohol. There shouldn't be. I sit here live to tell you the story and show you the picture of a survival person. I'm not going to do this. Did it yesterday, I ruined the whole thing. That's a survivalist. I have lots of training in survival. I've walked the Appalachian Trail twice. Recently, it was about 2 years ago. And now I'm sitting in a tent very close to civilization, but extremely cold compared to people inside the house. But I chose this, so I'm on my own. You couldn't really do this. You could have. You couldn't carry that little bottle. Would be very excessive weight. This little bottle. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Back we go again. Hold on. This little bottle is looks like 11 ounces. 11 ounces. That would be way too much weight to carry on the Appalachian Trail. And in fact, what you would be carrying, or doing, is taking caps off, ripping tags from your clothing, removing things that are not really necessary, like the buttons from your shirt, or the shoelaces. No, you wouldn't take the shoelaces out. I actually have one of the pair that walked the trail 2 years ago. It's right there. That's kind of boot. It's not the boot. I went through a set of boots and a half. And this is the half that's kind of still working towards the end. Love walking around with the laces undone. A little tricky on a trail, but before you start walking around, you could do it. Would you like to see the other side? There. That just proves that I have the ability to put on 2 unlaced boots early in the morning. There. Okay. Back to the fire. If I didn't have that half a piece of aluminum foil, oh God, I'm doing this for you. Well, it didn't get much higher, but you get more of a fierce flame, which will give you more instant heat or heat for an hour. But see what's happening? See the black on the aluminum foil? That's carbon. And if you needed to, in an emergency, of course you would do it when this is cool, you could lick that carbon and get oxygen from it. And this gives more of a directed flame. It's not as intense, it's more manageable, more of the, I hate to say it, the Silent Night musical. The song, I hope you're singing that song and haven't forgot where you were and what I asked. I just came from a boat race. I was watching it. I think it was in Paris. That was fun. One of the side effects of camping in the city or in the urban area of the city, Provincetown, big city, is that you better iron some things before you leave. One of the things I do is work in homeopathic medicine, and I marry people here in Provincetown, or they're in Provincetown. So you fill up the whole thing here with iron clothing. Your very good shirts you throw into the dry cleaners and have them all dry cleaned, because as you can see, you can't do that over a fire. Well, you could, but you'd singe things, would look a little black and carbonized, as I showed you on the back of the aluminum foil. This fire, just there's one roll of toilet paper in there now, squeezed and put in, and saturated with alcohol. So it takes up that one bottle I showed you earlier. It will take up just about that much. I was being, let's say, creative in putting this bigger pot. I had 4 rolls inside this pot, but I left space between the rolls, and that doesn't work. So you want to make sure everything that's in the pot is really condensed, like it's one piece of paper, one giant tub of toilet roll paper. That you definitely want to have a half a piece of aluminum foil. Pretty much that lasted me all night. The problem with that is each one of these, here we go again, each one of these is $3.79 at our friend Stop and Shop. It's probably on a quarter everywhere else, but that's the price of it. So you considered I put about 3 of these into the big pot, and the one that's burning now only uses 1. So 4 times $3.79, you're going around $14, $15. And then you put in the toilet paper. There's a roll, there's a couple over there in the banana mess. Is that a banana? No, it's a hot mint. And the baggies. That cost about $3. And believe it or not, and I have no idea why, I actually saw for sale, I think that is one of them. There's no core in it anymore. The cardboard core is missing. Let me show you a picture of an astonished human. What? No